Every single person who leaves Mecca and is Muslim and goes towards Medina, they need to be returned by the Muslims back to Mecca. But also in this case, he's looking at the letter of the contract, and it's permitted, even though everyone understood that's not what it means, right? But because of the gravity of the situation and in the interests of everyone, especially the Muslims here we're talking about, that's why he took that decision. Also, the Treaty of Hudhaybiyyah, which surah was revealed regarding the entire Treaty of Hudhaybiyyah? There's one treaty, there's one surah revealed. Huh? Surah Fath, Jazakallah khair. So the Surah Fath, a lot of people think that Surah Fath was revealed because of the conquest of Mecca. Okay, and that's not true. Surah Fath was revealed due to the Treaty of Hudhaybiyyah. As you know, Surah Fath means the opening. It means that now everything is open for the Muslims, basically. It's a victory. And that's what Hudhaybiyyah was. And why? Because now, because of that treaty, no Muslim would be fighting and killing and vice versa with a Qurashi. It'd be complete peace. So now you had Muslims having business transactions with non-Muslims. Treaty of Hudhaybiyyah was a big statement for the rest of Arabia, as well as up and coming the rest of the world, because it showed now to the rest of Arabia particularly that Muslims were actually now on the same political playing field as the Quraysh. They were recognized now as a state. They were recognized as an entity who you now had to negotiate with, just like any other entity. They weren't recognized now as a offshoot, as a terrorist organization, as people who did khuruj on their own village, on their own people. So that was a very significant thing as well that Hudaybiyyah represented. And now that there's peace and years of peace up ahead, because now Muslims could now openly, freely discuss Islam with the non-Muslims, freely have trade transactions. There was no period in the Seerah of Rasulullah where as many people became Muslim as after the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah. One way you can see this is that 1,400 Muslims, that's most of the Muslims of Medina, went forward with Rasulullah at the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah. At the conquest of Mecca, how many people were there? 10,000. Look at that number. Okay, so within 4 years, that had now more than quadrupled number. And when Rasulullah gave his final sermon at Hajj, how many Sahabas were there? 100,000. Right? So the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah, it shows us as well that in times of peace, you are able to do more da'wah and positively impact the ummah and make it bigger more than you can in times of war. And in times of peace, you can say stuff and argue well without them fighting back, right? Which is what's happening today, isn't it? Whatever we say, you get immediate onslaught fighting against. So, unfortunately, that's the area that we live in now. Is sort of a big mixed bag, which has never been seen before. But anyway, so that's what the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah led to. So many Muslims come into the fold of Islam, that eventually led to the conquest of Mecca. And remember, Rasulullah didn't want any bloodshed at all, especially in Mecca. And one of the reasons as well, there's another ayah, I've forgotten it actually, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that if had it been Allah's will, we could have made you fight the Quraysh and gone in to Mecca. But then, without you knowing, you would have killed a lot of people who are secretly Muslim. And for that, later on, you would have been very, very regretful and sad. So Allah saved you that. So that was basically the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah in a nutshell. I'll end it there, inshallah. Subhanakallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
أم حسبتم أن تتركوا ولما يعلم الله الذين جاهدوا منكم أم حسبتم أن تتركوا ولما يعلم الله الذين جاهدوا منكم ولم يتخذوا من دون الله أم حسبتم أن تتركوا ولما يعلم الله الله ولا رسوله